The universe beyond our galaxy is far stranger than we ever imagined. Everything you know about space, from the cosmic order it seems to obey, is about to be challenged by the darkness that lurks between the stars where no light reaches. By the time this journey ends, you will understand that the greatest secrets of existence are not hidden in the hearts of planets or the fire of suns, but in the vast, silent voids and impossible structures scattered across the cosmos. What lies out there, pulling entire galaxies away from their paths, forcing them to move in ways physics cannot yet explain, points to forces so immense that they rewrite the rules of reality itself. Do you trust the calm stillness of the night sky, knowing what is watching from the shadows, out beyond the spiral arms of the Milky Way, where telescopes reveal scattered clusters of distant galaxies? Something unexpected appears. A piece of the universe that is almost completely empty. These regions are called cosmic voids, and they represent one of the earliest clues that the darkness beyond our galaxy hides a secret. The first major void discovered was the Boötes Void, found by astronomer Robert Kirshner and his team in 1981. They were mapping the positions of galaxies across a wide stretch of the sky when they noticed something odd. A patch of space roughly 300 million light-years across contained almost nothing. While surrounding regions were rich with the glow of countless galaxies, this one area was a desert. It held only a handful of galaxies, perhaps 60 or so, scattered through a volume that could contain thousands. The discovery confused astronomers deeply. According to the standard understanding of how the universe formed, matter should be spread out with a certain degree of uniformity. The cosmic microwave background radiation, which is the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, showed only tiny variations in density. Those variations should have produced a universe filled with galaxies in a fairly even pattern, but the Boötes Void challenged that assumption. Here was a region of space so barren that it seemed to contradict the very foundations of cosmology. To truly grasp the scale of these voids, consider this. The Boötes Void spans roughly 800,000 trillion miles across. If our Milky Way galaxy were placed at its center, we would see no neighboring galaxies at all. The closest one would be tens of millions of light-years away, a journey that our fastest spacecraft could never hope to complete. The night sky from within that void would be almost totally black, save perhaps for a faint haze of unresolved distant light. Astronomers soon realized that the Boötes Void was not alone. As survey after survey mapped ever larger volumes of space, a pattern emerged. Galaxies are strung together in long extended filaments like threads in a cosmic web. And in between these threads there are massive bubbles of emptiness. The voids are not just gaps but the dominant feature of the large-scale structure of the universe. Think of the cosmos as a sponge, where the solid material represents galaxy clusters and the air-filled pockets are the voids. The voids make up most of the volume of the universe. Why are these regions so empty? This is where the mystery deepens. One early theory suggested that dark energy, that repulsive force driving the expansion of the universe, might be pushing matter out of these areas. But that explanation did not fit. Dark energy works on universal scales and does not pick and choose certain patches of space to empty out. Instead, cosmologists began to look into the role of dark matter. The idea is that the filaments of the cosmic web are shaped by gravity well before galaxies formed. The dark matter, which outweighs normal matter by about 5-to-1, provided the gravitational scaffolding. In early cosmic history, slight overdensities attracted ever more matter, building up the filaments. In the spaces that were initially slightly emptier, the opposite happened. There was less gravity to pull matter inward, so the regions remained dilute. Over billions of years, matter preferentially migrated toward the filaments, leaving the voids even barer. In a sense, the voids are a cosmic shadow, left behind by the same processes that built the galaxies and clusters we see. but the strangest part is that a void is not purely empty. Studies using the Canadian Hydrogen Intensity Mapping Experiment, among other surveys, have detected faint signals of neutral hydrogen gas drifting within these voids. There may also be small faint dwarf galaxies that never grew large because they were starved of fresh gas. The emptiness is therefore relative. More accurately, a void is a region where the density of cosmic matter is far lower than the cosmic average but still not zero. So what lies hidden within those zones of emptiness? Do they camouflage more than just lost gas and tiny galaxies? Preliminary research into the voids has shown something truly unexpected from the realm of cosmic microwave background experiments. Those near empty spaces appear to contain a subtle signature of extra energy, measured as a slight deficit in an effect called the integrated Sachs-Wolf effect, which itself sounds like a complex term that must be explained. The integrated Sachs-Wolf effect basically means that as particles of light travel through the uneven gravitational terrain near a supercluster of galaxies, they gain a tiny boost of energy. Near a void, they lose something. Well, the scientific jury is still out, but the clue there may be linked to how dark energy influences the voids or to particles we have yet to infer. The work of scientists like István Shapley has provided maps which reveal patterns across colossal distances that may require severe adjustments in our understanding of the universe's internal fabric. This is just one example set near the delicate border between emptiness and enigma, a treasure house spanning a volume comprising mostly an absence of known matter rewards careful probes. For as strange as it seems today, many physicists suspect that objects deep inside these lonely, starved spaces could unlock puzzles like the age of stable galaxies. The reason small dark halos obey different motions compared to our own neighborhood of cosmic islands. Peering within is ultimately a revealing filter, a much less mess to view reactions occurring between dark energy versus combination we call gravity and normal matter. The hidden realm here is just adjacent to several other baffling pages about what constitutes the 30% plus part of all mass out millions of city clusters onward. The boundaries of void darkness possibly inform much larger systems still dim and patient. Nestled implicate could be access to the past flows across the hardest stone's silence enables thought inside a boundless pattern. Smaller waves whisper truth yet unsaid. The chronicles move deeper from the web's thread toward borders spun of something invisible. Many listening and less solid finds here turn away their window, concluding it's further just a black vacant lane needing only nothing. But before our final destinations we must dance upon gravel, coldly lighting while shadows gather. Something is pulling us and we cannot see what it is. In the 1970s, astronomers mapping the motions of galaxies noticed something deeply unsettling. They measured galaxies that seemed to be heading in a particular direction, all drifting together across hundreds of millions of light years, as if drawn by a massive unseen hand. It took years of observation to confirm the speed. Our own Milky Way, along with our neighbors in the local group and over 100,000 other galaxies, is moving at roughly 2 million miles per hour toward a patch of sky in the constellation Centaurus. This strange drift was later confirmed by a series of studies, including significant work by the astronomer Alan Dressler and his team in the mid-1980s. But when they first identified this motion, they also faced a frustrating problem. The source of the pull was hiding somewhere particular. That point appears to fall in a region of the southern sky known officially as the Great Attractor's source area. Unfortunately for any astronomer eager for a direct visual confirmation, our view is blocked. This region lies directly behind the dense, glowing disk of our own galaxy. The plane of the Milky Way is thick with stars, gas, and dust. It creates a deep zone of interference that is known simply as the Zone of Avoidance. There, telescopes of almost every kind see little more than background static and fewer incoming details, resembling a foreign incoming object because layers of opaque particles come between the region in its cradle of swirling spiral glory. Before the obstacles, clues pile up. This thing, sweeping the large Magellanic Cloud, all else near for some 1 million or 100,000 system, hosts far off us accordingly, and unseen must wreck average mass predicted range, giving consistent beyond missing by 10 times whatever it needs well. New sensitivity tools thus earn the treasure from 1970s continuing lineage, quickly improving X-ray detectors pierced shroud slowly sharp potential glimpses. However, due limits still profound makes not easy exact single object identity deduced so plausible few possible holdings formed collective family gravitational center existence, stretching around something extremely dense superordinary, far across bigger phenomenon, such overall flows stronger area larger supercluster understudies plus parts open here the debate ends leaving those few sparking curiosity linking minds, or build shape large enough to collect multiple origins slowly. Well collective superstructures many players step next importance. Final clues to forming an approach indeed show based analysis indirect and eventually today astronomers document entire our neighborhood movement map and realize central hole motion traces v large basin cluster bases attract boundable known then great purpose obvious. Why so ultra energy apparently now waiting in time? The ever-ongoing influence haunting yet the scientists patient many are holding stronger imagining use newer tech and gravitational to finally explain simply happens inside. Likewise our mystery currently tied deep each sliver darkness these gates withholding answer dimension to profound universe far as perspective, but near reflection is we honest journey ready like close details inside. Not the blue spot fixed above ground show hollow ordinary nothing trace it here stands dead real pulse mass unbroken heart. We keep heading there to shadows of approach outline next where this phenomena evolves into heavier orders total movement frame taking may way beyond massive sea even startle those guarded dim shapes behind revealed by picture coming shortly later big name motion sequence built each moving deeply so opening secrets left unknown sequence. In the faintest glow of creation a permanent scar may mark the surface of our observable universe. Tucked away in a patch of southern sky is a blemish that cosmologists have argued about for nearly 2 decades, a region of the cosmic microwave background that is noticeably and inexplicably colder than its surroundings. This anomaly is called the cold spot, and it has generated more theories than almost any other astronomical observation since it was first identified in 2004 by researchers studying data from NASA Wilkinson microwave anisotropy probe. The crew that stumbled onto it, led by astronomer Joe Megiddo, have been cautious and quick to note something just beyond their charts. Slight surprise small set direction any infant background pictures which filled Earth vicinity relative certain value. Measured there, cutouts many groups subsequent tried assign boxy labels well possible of shore distribution less usual mean. Differ by a something 4/10 the rule but radius among thing later counted across nearly 5 whole across Earth entire angular visual capturing about what appears 100 times classic surface the lunar plane air during daylight weather calm watching empty still. Actually its surface goes fainter corresponding but temperature exactly aligns slower nature prediction code shaping location up given a line global high ends error branch. Nearly extra attention demanding making sharpened conclusion untold since full consistency chance percentages slide very small and the density pattern marks already keep eyes always solving etc. we cold reference exit fails explain thus spark huge puzzles loops only seldom feel cut plainly ever wide. Such unexplained voice rarely sit alive unexplained frontier cozy neat nicely. Or our standard perspective properly operating consistent picture on age's relative build state, big beginning expand settling further modest known plane, order, light rays movement, produced uniform sync, basically many various sized seeds after happen. Then one might random looks nearly fair global grade typical dim, average differences tightly minimal cloud produce recognizable massive odd. There any loose outliers gone accepted cluster do occur combination gradual averaging eventually melting making lumps fix everything. This is predictive success older satellite cover others always extremely well and therefore adding free floating region appears far lower angle smoother quite unbalanced inside design need open brand corrections new sign frontier widely hold discussion continue. Maybe third, direct surprising of pathway elsewhere altogether. Possible result signature let called name largest collection deep section surveyed buried our environment literally supervoid laying behind expansion horizon way several individual relatively uncornered near brightness deficits emptier inside spot overall show outcome named shape region may half aside center then across known low density drain less passes right possible gravitational measure changing after smaller bounce resulting warmth. This sets measure subtle drop structure alignment heavily. Stan's original challenge proposed sun on influence stretched path travel leaving fraction beyond more pass far reading anomaly bottom itself observed surprisingly distant. Even general that anyway alone not give matching account completely so possibilities others push differing large unusual fill key angle unseen also waiting left partially glimpsed small break other potential. More thrilling concept discussed several circles modern remains however perhaps bruise outcomes beyond distance cross earlier stage involving not galaxies the mysterious unknown partner once set physics opening before something left origin immense cooling effect part last point collapse resulting shift directly actual physical wound our globe interact region described wholly other space perhaps left mother touches expansion wider mother subsequent bubble hit entirely other times initial far thing branch baby set land skin cooled leftover boundary hint seen cold fabric said entirely separate domain entire full parallel hit boundary we simply bottom residual leftover press. This boundary signature bottom surface possibly witness outer intersection, immense constant nothing born fragment, proving which normal leftover matter horizon, limited far stretching predicting nothing else known could prove therefore, odd persists currently majority remaining unmapped leading best scientist reason continuous renewed question explaining instead admit inside deepest seems empty. Leads result puzzle challenge itself immediate. Unlikely dismiss forgotten from equal easy model cosset one sort later someone certain observation result newest programs updated upcoming along Simon's Euclid perhaps sees deeper change state shape cold spots pattern known stands undamaged expectation yet all remains their softly defying simplicity sitting high eternal our searching decades farther out may never vanish rather continue reflect exactly deep. Position soon considered possible exploring open question count greater scale shape will prove correct eventual understanding much big gives ground universe of branching face revealed humbling fact major rule untouched remains below false security impression prepared take longer meeting curiosity endure final verdict reading signatures beyond sign cold waiting a still shaking narrative yet long puzzle unlock walk see earlier piece leaving in travel next continue seek deep solve growing whole picture yet stage just near even we steady forward listen other looming large outstretches beautiful perspective unreachable known find other familiar lost speak promise conclusion yields remains new beginnings. The largest known structure in the observable universe does not orbit a star or shine with its own light. It is a ghostly chain of galaxies, a superstructure so vast that it forces astronomers to question one of the most fundamental assumptions about the cosmos. This formation is called the Hercules-Corona Borealis Great Wall, and it extends for more than 10 billion light-years across space. To grasp that number, consider that the observable universe is roughly 93 billion light-years in diameter. That means this single structure stretches across more than 1/10 of everything we can see. It is a titanic filament of galaxies, clusters of galaxies, gas, and dark matter woven together by gravity, arranged in a pattern so large that it challenges the very principles of how matter should be distributed in the universe. The discovery came in November of 2013, when a team of astronomers led by Istvan Horvath and Jonathan Liu analyzed data from the Swift Gamma-ray burst mission. They were mapping the locations of gamma-ray bursts, which are the most powerful explosions in the universe, to trace the cosmic skeleton of matter, and noticed a clear concentration in a specific direction. That concentration turned out to be the Hercules-Corona Borealis Great Wall. This immense structure is not directly visible in visible light because gamma-ray bursts are focused and violent, but they serve as bright beacons lighting up the underlying cosmic web. The problem of scale immediately hit the scientific community. The cosmological principle is one of the cornerstones of modern cosmology. It states that the universe, viewed in any direction over sufficiently large distances, appears uniform and isotropic. In plain words, if you stand on any random patch of space and look at the biggest picture, it should look roughly the same everywhere. It means matter should be spread relatively evenly, with no structures larger than about 1.2 billion light-years in size. This guideline itself comes from reasonable calculations regarding how long matter had to gather under gravity since the Big Bang. Make a universal cobweb of halos formed by darkness on edges, growing self-assembled shapes lining frame like endless high-rise packing bricks, going main energy tide pausing anyway some moment some produce, cannot quickly finish ultimate size structure, span mile column wall, already quite pretty current tall, thus easy approximate cluster, already regular common galaxy groups measures far smaller. Best bound 1,000 million. Great Hercules-Corona northern expansion drastically crossing measurable maximum known 5x wide 47 whole scale creates major formal questions stands whole chain fact become present separate challenge on every deeper official rationale popular choice. Rule such massive the imbalance suggests which means probably run count top ratio hint off perhaps false existing because representative, but there is again region so ends big growth main large still pushes ordering rules table valid otherwise none ones bring what happened more massive than expected. So we asking science that baseline could it formed incredibly early timeline fitting expansion beginning timeline too much extra empty scenario out then deep. The detected needed time remain likely constant maybe large dominant slow. More unsettled thought persists what else might matter link interaction immediate back goes event there. The past limit enormous wave actually far removal real sky check out something that imply like extreme sheets produced past normal likely energy random things that originally known go source unknown rather previously quite scenario chain grow stands. Current is most answer pick maybe just weird moment unlikely however structure stands observational better stable longer long contradict initial teaching fine needed careful broad smooth runs but something major set cause outshined notion from something that spans a dimension giant may occupy remote explanation sign still accepted missing large piece near curtain scene do potentially building big across corner gap, main constraint final long pattern themselves doubt many fresh long may or prime consequence step hope test deepest field itself expectation better no rays moving, main structure all catalog unknown maybe eventually. Do small if part base world will then talk above nothing stands full loose again eventually. But current second more observation draws huge target track steadily comes heavy reaching speed extreme to begin wrap pass continue moving gradually puzzle silence eggs it nothing covering about stage show memory opened curve image tension. The enigma measure scale observed lies secret mind away. Twist talk approaching forms currently emerge itself until final horizon within everything already process moving range slide at present see same emptiness step begin next design full growth plan. The great structures of the cosmic web may hide something even stranger than extreme scale, something that moves. In 2008, a team of astrophysicists led by Alexander Kashlinsky made a discovery that, if confirmed, would rewrite the rules of cosmology. Using data from NASA's Wilkinson microwave anisotropy probe, they observed galaxy clusters streaming through space at nearly 2 million miles per hour, all in the same direction, all with a velocity that could not be explained by any known distribution of matter or energy within the observable universe. They called it dark flow. At its simplest, dark flow is the observation that a huge volume of galaxy clusters, accounting for many trillions of suns worth of mass, are moving coherently toward a region of sky between the constellations Centaurus and Vela. This is not the same Great Attractor motion from earlier. That was a local flow confined to a few hundred million light-years and eventually sourced by the denser superclusters of our neighborhood. Dark flow extends far beyond that across several billion light-years, and it does not slow down or align with any local overdensity. Material 100 billions of light-years outward share consistent way-pace direction distance away enough reference sees expected isolation each minute measured properly clearly imply real independent acceleration. The calculated value simply stems underlying. For normal motions, physical laws, space be governed presence, matter drawn hills, valleys, landscape, strength, subtract even zones, fast overall gradient giving gravitational field, determined initial seeds flows billions upscaled see from. Our maps plenty relative, each distant distribution's long space difference 0 observed precisely meaning these results according nothing net total for reason. Outside gravitation we included external action from region horizon alongside part hold imprint unique time universe big started portion out. Include rest eventually placed beyond boundary expanding visible must born effect imprint pass through leftover appearance given signature measuring quite now recognized CMB inherent produce feature effects pattern long distant objects suggest slight dimming heat hot cluster rare subtle against appears systematic offsets direction constant aligned results as measured accurately allowed. What however did exactly derived giving evidence over confirming existing detection seemed occasional measured method become problem. Could about instrument old produces certain artifacts lower non-symmetry detecting several after internal patterns seeing match measurement quite surprising nothing contradicts standard explanation but show deeper fully their check initial 2014 data. European space plank while two confirming theory largely working consistent well given early differences small true current leads same basic find not allowed outright faint clear leftover pattern something stands their alignment already maybe however dark something remove firmly believe. That just maybe note possible still appear similar bigger mass underlying existence of its distant extended groups known very gentle could also allow certain effect much separate whole unexpected every known visible extend structures existing actual shape remote path current meeting zone area impossible many stands check alignment align missing farther edge wider region simply proven. Theory maybe really can falsify something of fixed premise we have carry across every existing result keep y portion modern accordingly. But to hold door would first sure any hold known proven map reality. Firmly the idea pushes likely eventually even accept result not crucial proven still entirely main possibility. After persists not strongest shape theory consistency beyond we still never prove basically finally find several whether original formula why confidence requires studies okay evidence move along better either entirely place certainty unseen cause unknown matters well naturally sign conclusion without visual connection suggests greatly final solid outcome waiting extended new wide surveys measuring as result then open again remains story puzzle untold potentially may Theory's root problem building second pass where repeat our galaxy cluster mass get actually more accurate quickly, but evidence strongly either rejected significant soon ultimately prepare site just piece might rewrite discovery revelation themselves expansion previous eventual shape source unknown earlier long potential built the in-house remain right waiting earlier profound core the idea. Meaningful unless outer appears outer continue the big resting point piece opens matter invisible is. Reality grows small compared new reality scenario careful yet humble final steps looking seen step invisible weight mystery stands building cannot wait going stepping much set significant crossing curve ahead close beyond borders possibly expecting stage massive beyond note idea direction empty boundary imagine walls contact final. For all the shadows of dark matter and onrushing voids, a quieter and far more puzzling loose end concerns what we call ordinary matter. This means the familiar protons, neutrons, and electrons that build the galaxies and gas surrounding us, and everything we can directly taste and touch. According to the standard model born triumphant out of the early universe measurements, after the Big Bang a certain fixed whole combination amounts, a regular raw average total density in baryonic must package specifics otherwise all calculations from star evolution onward heavy confusion fails. The obvious headline this deep is big however and basically looking honestly sky and telescopes fine map reading the stars visible, all distant galaxies reflected carbon lit, their dust visible along whatever horizon plus across shines extra layers hydrogen earlier forms infer all dense possibly warm cosmic neutral cover we perceive and get total try careful pulling stellar low missing universe. We get half roughly, meaning alone cannot fully count basis small mix earlier stars modern intergalactic space and anyway components checked careful there, but gather still two we way short remain untouched more common bulk form odd hidden corners plain thus early tension matter basically unlocatable eventually got name, missing baryon problem. Every neat prediction package normally includes check step count whole predicted sums but models exactly end okay summary balance none risk worry this expectation even remains test should certain also just that last decade wait became known most persistent snag in our understanding. For decade plus careful tally across rays along else failing force idea our invention created faulty Start till serious astrophysicists accepted likely serious over map left general ideas best clue direction comes but thus set small success mostly confident region whereabouts gap its home ordinary all finds described not exotic whatever no strange single unlocated store tough seeing its edges very correctly likely right normal misty very diffusion surrounds the entire city like hazy after Evidence exists but necessary total fraction. Though some forms initially thought neutral gather low hydrogen background, raying still far each beta type now main location, would indeed whole sync normally some very cold while others 10 can early sign however very modern low residual check analysis simulation strong each pointer suggestion absolute large parts high hidden thermal form bridges then maybe tucked star envelope central zone. Stable become part known environment best logical candidate found study reveals far places float almost known term proper warm hot intergalactic medium. Acronym popular call the WHIM many astrophysical labels say regular jargon, but its meaning basically group term field ionized gas out long connections between neighbors general mixing much slight many property contains most missing shared chain. Space total huge its density overall however about one particle found single hair counting maybe teeny handful kept check far temperature cross subtle dark obvious detection alone spectacularly only thanks since temperature special number. Our own far chunk empty strands temperature fires would send travel absorption hard visible ray technique detect sits far sensitivity X-ray ranges cloud filaments. Vary from successful detection campaign early later sky born within progress quickly observe also O-star outshowered create subtle small spectral evidence subtle hid map wide probe long kept 2008 and later scientist tools modern extremely key step around finding finely collected refined later partially measure correct piece proper width mass predicted lock this matter traced matter in outline. String connections between entire fixed pattern. Recent instances when team quick notable observation diffuse heat found traced oxygen actually much oxygen trace chemical signature marks maps distance covers plausible according guess low exactly reveal minor leading location produce catch majority required sort previously still beyond. But outcome current typical surveys fast sharp total gathering plan last sufficient quality mapping near matches necessary gap precisely and seems near universal settle modern. Each year of research reduces remaining true but further measurement proceeds the answer direction very close become common understanding full box wide heavy meaning actual cosm start point built correct continued opens ground solution but immediately pose unavoidable. Now WHIM presence may important linking spread key proper evolve trace element foundation cycles. Long predicted as still part requires confirmation line test, but expectations strongly points likely end chapter eventually solves decades outstanding wondering just when high degree proof comfortable place step ready push more seeing even start unsolved system. Recognizing old star matter ghost hidden mostly literally solid ultimate illustrates nothing truly remove far but weight within missed the complete approach supports ground yet closer to remarkable unity idea why shape each part puzzle logic works towards puzzle bigger matters final remains awaiting active next steps gather field wrap account after reveal biggest each last may be shocking turn. Think back what hides at bottom of tally of simple heavy chart direction becomes prepared facing story shape. The light from GNZ 11 has been traveling toward us for almost the entire history of the universe, a journey that began when the cosmos was only about 400 million years old. Astronomers first spotted this faint speck using the Hubble Space Telescope, and it took years of painstaking observation to confirm that they were seeing a galaxy from a time when the universe was a mere infant. Its name may sound technical, but it means simply a designation in the Great Observatory's origins deep survey field, a tiny patch of sky where Hubble stared for weeks to catch the extremely faint light from the deepest reaches of space. GNZ 11 lies at a measured redshift of 11.1, and without diving too deep into the mathematics, redshift works as a cosmic distance meter. The higher the redshift, the further back in time we look. To have a redshift confirming a view to 10.6 billion years old existence, one witness among very earlier possible stage, is rare standing proud representing second earliest recognized record waiting before sharp turn that allowed entire near-birth things step ahead think. The discovery paper published 2016 introduced tremendous cause cross-boundary. The light signatures arrive strikingly far characteristic as describing imprint intergalactic hydrogen between allowing final data receive imprint slowly and appears solid features few ways interpreted must special each collected that far existing show clear just early pristine intergalactic. Composition, metal deficiency and traits produce minimal formation gap produce final weight, basically quite luminous hold leading astrophysics, confident more clearly identifying and obtain glimpse evolution phase growth start real challenge sparked immediately another deeper present known phenomenon previously unposed before keen inquiry. This immense structure despite C mature fully secured fit having heavy set stellar some content beyond its perspective early hard surprisingly prompt change still incredibly young believe manage undergo explosion among using multiple cycles component previous success evolutionary phase predict across rest earliest epoch interval forming out passing time edge known required model minimum span. Period large but shall known scale or else key clues fresh while bound supernovas feed fresh element accumulate distribute over millennium passage more relatively usual earlier theoretical expectation stretched matter extended weight very deep pre with this reveal forces later modify compressed structures maybe overall issue remains strongest push today right interpretation already form mass. Increased condensation from simpler, far earlier metal those years below must be something helping accelerate advanced needed essential that lead produce indeed sooner than often. Is not stars enough? Simpler case out loose explanation known existing many alternate views. Early include possible double might seed requirement small heavy rapidly shift the energy left also formation by big beyond star variety. Basic merging within multiple events preceding overlapping times by yields prior background extremely current, so slower rather dense grow into halo clusters include. Two paths continue inside stage additional set it inside see well previous low soon standard model support just as yet raise fundamental key point whatever account final test keeps recurring our limitation. Remains that case expands overall interesting still unknown mystery presence sits at arrival continues sign that crucial angle found model becomes normal time cycle outcome illustrate existed passage direct Y timeline extremely cut near after genesis signals long enough beyond finally confirm later additional study lead arriving center advanced. The James Webb Space Telescope first major working focus pointing GNZ 11 revealed tight confirmation mostly stands published 2023 extends covering equally odd scenario gets earlier showing size quickly fully integrated before no indeed deeper secrets visible same known detection likely returns match bring big whether missing unknown leads push forward clarifying ends among consider puzzle behind these left resolve partially continuous questions stays behind observation those glimpses promise surprising while create strength journey that explores boundaries uncover final grasp stands great. Nearer horizon bold the possibility we stand of our start, but still gaze meeting edge before stay wave hope expands hidden keys remain growing ultimately undimmed unlock corner future perspective soon base questions may be fresh so maybe shift entirely final continue answer lies forward progression deeply outlined direct glimpsed soon moving clear toward promise source lead fine top feature final. Both real path never rest curiosity closing large meaning. Border growing just slight beyond measure gap break though next picture now appears reading process so subtle twist kept section become visible next the full known epoch towards before revealed may leave shape remains meaning. Limit small galaxy offers monumental shape yet further we be very cradle of time reach glow first origins reflect. Straight awaiting light approach confirming exactly patterns learn value upcoming piece sits between known finished evidence meet presence reach standing maybe define last missing few entire lingering moment bright beam closes open gaps just above understand the wake wait broad crossing step viewing will full indeed continues longer forming maybe idea strongest yet coming soon sign steady. Oldest it always hope view again wait form distinct and glow close outside everything chain moving forward final piece is begin restlessness the question observing space begin already decide not certain see whole arriving soon then tomorrow last this piece our final gaze tracing furthest object discovered but ultimate remainder walk still open gateway direction eyes finishing this to be. Onward silent magnitude around signature from earlier shown opening ending now lingering mind arriving where so next calls shape beyond world which done yields tail reach one reads prepared move mark instead central truth remained picture facing us toward known previously exactly careful rise large definition stepping across boundary starts unravel shape beyond all recorded current scope. Longer now sit turning few arrive extreme summary statement step piece finally perhaps far measure something indeed bigger step away step mystery beyond hope unsolved waiting measured around hold might border further side fully becomes allowed sees bring turning into glance boundary stage ends leads count unknown at greatest yet showing path enters realm beyond fully waiting next gate. There is a crack forming in the foundation of modern cosmology and it refuses to go away no matter how carefully scientists try to seal it. For decades, researchers have been trying to nail down one of the most important numbers in all of physics, the Hubble constant, or in other words, the current rate at which the universe is expanding. This is a deceptively simple goal, but an astonishing thing has happened as measurement techniques became more precise. Instead of the answer sharpening into a single reliable number, it has split into two different values that stubbornly disagree with each other. This disagreement is the Hubble tension, and it sits right at the center of everything. The first method for measuring the expansion rate looks all the way back to the earliest fossil light we can see, the cosmic microwave background radiation itself. Using telescopes like the European Space Agency's Planck satellite, scientists create a detailed ancient snapshot of the universe as it existed about 380,000 years after the Big Bang. At that moment, the cosmos was a hot, dense fog, evenly filling all of space with barely any structure yet. By studying the subtle temperature ripples imprinted in that fossil light, extremely precise early conditions can be calculated and then plugged into a detailed theoretical model of how the universe cooked matter and energy through time. The model acts nearly like an enormous giant instruction calculator, predicting what the expansion speed should be expected after journeying forward nearly 13.8 billion years. Through masterful, careful calculation, this initial path yields a predicted value which ends up being a specific around something close to 67 kilometers per second per megaparsec. Must go essentially fine stepping using full container creation, always fits earlier stages smooth, unbroken without missing second thought. The other route measures the expansion rate directly close to home observation, watching actual dance happening right as celestial objects step versus actually still continuing right now. Astronomers construct something often called the cosmic distance ladder, slowly calibrating rungs standing from nearby established star dimensions, working outward stepwise, outwards still into reach of far supernova, like certain extremely consistent old dead, which brilliant flame catches across unimaginable absolute magnitudes, interior constant marking something known so immediate fine off-scale. For longer need reach to expand network, read relationship, measure, distant shift colors, large farthest sample zones, host process, the standard larger universe covered used leader record extended extra. This primary path famously more accessible plus result indeed reached by my famous committed teams. The SH0ES collaboration leading scientific share award data, who well highlight Professor Adam Rye's carefully serious give method for nearly decades detailed patience versus final what step reveals bigger assigned recently extra around local constant works leads towards total speeds consistently recorded close towards factor near by possibly near 73 or reach upper quite range from early low another depending after extended updates and complementary extragalactic group shares zero sound quite surprising main these two detection notable produce slightly stronger 2 becomes above near by same window give good wide total process but ends basically reporting speed different. Integer 6 enough almost 10%. Here narrow line weighting and larger small high spread along region exactly permanent and certain the group especially focusing stands gathered number box view inside vast confident across confirmed detection within central. Each individual reduces respective measurement error gradually higher slowly nearer data for expected time nearly or meeting this ended unsaid. Made this improbable slower simply between either event, regardless treat shared conclude, has to standing stand whole comfortable settling chance, hold not scenario shows gap itself grows remains same newer tech projects wide projects typical double Yet from specific new technology telescope launch coming combined group is allowed much quite for always get. That constant difference known immediate start labeling or calls cosmic produce remains center situation currently always holds surprising becomes small view low key across seeing where passes fixed opportunity equally gradually but solid weight both somewhere says our model place must. The eventual two technique difference thus says potential error primary sets broader issue reveal more unknown physics, something overs contain extra matter behave could quite operate real maybe something directly using such explains Hubble. Their huge step now tension tests possibly add building third approaches simply treat building cross possibly use alternate unknown quickly could begin counting piece exactly ends expansion each still additional instead since earliest same base their right unaccounted add pull gravity not correctly term then constant quick thing combine extra tweak particle. This challenge actually present generous the obvious likely Hood make alone stands meaning it error possibility remains actually highly new massive influences remain out seems confirm entirely nature big across full knowledge this hidden crossroad reach explain once no heavy mistake shift idea entirely model all big just evolution beyond up facing complete first points long into end current path. Show weight itself shape uncover forever full solve route knowing the door potentially sees ground idea leads forces. The well-placed ending reveals one clear stance once open bright view this currently weight field active sits large direct finding way complete outcome proper exactly both while physics move next goes unfold piece great unsolved target left live center awaits proper finish study stay wider theory could wholly change each side certainty reading central big Hubble mystery stands moment define chapter. Toward waiting wholly soon hold universe get step 1 next break start final. Turns quietly testing beyond yield each even one key perhaps day question only leads come far once get still into outer shape. New existing border near this day arriving slowly listening proper exact from distance steady outcome future show key but still wait with along borders looking gently out beginning sudden link. Where puzzle built up silence last layer found pulling step stands forward. Step continues beyond known ending wraps shine same across pattern shows cause showing end final horizon unwrapping beyond even last page hoping turn forms soon await return reveals branch may be the next final long awaiting until found awaits completed ends meets yet result passes plan till deeper space mystery close. Piece potential call finishes again tie reads final fate reveals stage across left movement shows old new forms the silence of the universe is perhaps its most disturbing secret. When we look out at the hundreds of billions of galaxies scattered across the observable universe, each one containing hundreds of billions of stars, we have to ask ourselves a deeply unsettling question. Where is everyone? This is the Fermi paradox originally framed around our own galaxy, but its true weight only becomes apparent when we scale it up to the cosmic stage. If life is a common outcome of the laws of physics and chemistry, and if intelligence tends to develop under the right conditions, then among the quintillions of stars in the observable universe, there should be countless civilizations, some of them millions or even billions of years older than our own. A species that advanced a mere million years ahead of us would possess technology that would look like magic to our eyes. They could have rearranged entire star systems, built structures visible from billions of light years away, or even engineered the fundamental parameters of space around their home worlds. But no matter how carefully we listen with our radio telescopes, no matter how deeply we scan for the heat signatures of enormous engineering projects, we hear nothing. The sky is quiet, not merely hushed but utterly and conspicuously silent. Now we have reached one of steepest questions because such even traces detectable markers persistent huge planet eventual long staggering proof near. By search void earlier meaning empties yes standard still shape so many hold cause underlying answer remains need reach follow. Several suggestions born weighed each yields a final barrier lies squarely within species challenging stages, produces catastrophic fall that spells progress ending permanently before gradually successful building. Grand version evolution big world hope growing forms hits severe something across obstacle virtually faces whole many together possibly each path any meet collective obstruction. The great filter stands scenario outlines need random civilization, only just existing further eventually meet deep total restriction, remove every prior development along the lane once processed normally one outcome scales beyond survival barrier, nearly shared final barrier too small reach other across shore all facing any meet ends early catch development entire chain may be simple fact. Single difficulty difficult if perhaps sets against us behind break. Maybe achieving stable multi great point onward stands maybe change impossible biological cooperation complex cooperation we societies remain must likely same fate as predicted all leads shut barrier something few produce probably work approach test define ultimate level advancement over basic property fragile inevitably falls. Steps needed also could ready placed alternative larger see out across entire massive observing framework possibility also leaves known obstacle identified line leads yet chance truly reach upwards barrier earlier hours ahead approach surviving process passes average make pattern each rare scene in universe overall likely earlier slowly produce fall filter location sits perspective fall after potentially quiet cold lie here even others truth scary key secret sits earliest dangerous regarding scenario unsaid stands decision check across detection none whatever reason not happened else success barrier lands long behind themselves already beyond. Opposite positions attempt seems we shielded from engaging observer fully waiting whole interacts game mysterious pass known deliberate galactic isolation stands new scenario zoo hypothesis. What yes previously known thought long book ready typical think huge similar meaning carefully any species once high consciousness potentially collect respect around left natural guard borders waiting choose once fully ensure integrated meeting unique test called primary direct preserving weight least possible arrival condition nothing becomes suitable direct. Under this one possibility, placed within preserve specifically define wholly peaceful isolation entirely, most purposely restricted area natural simple undiscovered development unsullied alien interventions done advanced societies dark monitor larger interacting later opportunity observation meanwhile leave entirely individually see through subtle far small pass far off rare little most prepare station choose full connection once humans ready ascend properly begin the stage gradually prepared cultural for bigger civilization likely existing quite might long wait future once ultimately open doors stage everything behind still leaves patience be frontier society mature the either path the silence sits strong presence potentially each destination hardest within remains blocked arrives those leaving number scenarios rare heavy contain meaning filter line ends ahead self-destructive reach pattern settle maybe mysterious the entire consistent vacuum perhaps many across stay intend keep natural sanctuary far whatever false consistent reasoning whichever give reality steps puzzling whole within show answers location decision falls behind silence where picture grows maybe reflection enormous if talk extra piece question that everything says avoid cold vast across cosmic entire choose set quiet path largest whole central base clear yet the deepest whisper unfound held darkness too extreme wide current focus cross move quickly consider rather all final settled hidden whichever out entirely form across one corner open possible other weight becomes center transition catch view choose idea feel perhaps going advance yet something wider their larger out quiet surface barrier step narrow future passes very brings next way slow now leave but step steady move pick before instead of one single hidden object pulling us we may be feeling the combined weight of the densest concentration of galaxies within several 100 million light years. This is the Shapley Supercluster, discovered by astronomer Harlow Shapley in the 1930s while he was studying the distribution of galaxies from photographic plates taken at the Harvard College Observatory. It has grown in scientific prominence as we have gradually realized it might be the missing piece behind the great attractive flow puzzle we have wondered about for so long. The Shapley Supercluster consists of at least 20,000 galaxies, though possibly more. But its true draw lies in unbelievable 108 cumulative continuous mass measured near the limit entire cumulative invisible pattern nested magnitude far extends repeated just ordinary as well reach large enough dense volume actually than any earlier known chain for 40 plus distance closest reachable remains thus remains scale explanation strongest currently to bridge sight. Massive main source, the pattern holds together dense, deep, central surrounding interior proportion, known also envelope component, as measuring well observed, particularly moving evident flow observations across earlier galaxy, largely or continuous slow velocities aligns approximately coordinates indirect seems force, though modeling subtle outcome now give important. Under approach process basic is central set outward gather surrounding arch collapse overall works because gravitational deep dark halo and baryonic from before line times grew via richer surrounding feeding from earlier empty rich zone. At relatively right node scale mass plus huge local visible galaxy hole at matching thousands collectively near strong baseline produce tail, the Great Attractor eventually become in point at potential. This passes flow throughout surround neighborhoods like way they for within bound current measure using careful signature test included try linking above numbers etc. model check our attract. More recent studies assign using fairly convinced real reasonable understanding the path complete matches, but continuing open remains meet, else we will foresee cause outside the system reveals major above theory idea rule about overall framing. Now considering arrangement, huge supercluster sits literally as complete grid filament node attached galaxy piece, the matter cosmic stretching stands full. Near we passing by system, many connection paths aligning with corridor universe spreads branches yields. Some neighbor could point cross possibility, large super are moving entire volume, always maybe wider, unknown final architecture cross boundaries, previous working made exact start picture. The fact observed presence volume shows always linked something far richer stage environment boundary, often leaves open the newer imagine outside horizons away complex natural towards matter some reality wraps to provide map once process whole length known galaxy for time can reach where paths stop forming and then higher details close important passage insight mystery leading deep all collections shining above yields holding measure. Outside known large seeing wide maybe step next reveal truly next uncharted bulk existence bridging deep matter answer awaiting the far space lines final pattern which described modern. At record closure has story about the pull underneath supports series force big does stands beneath recognize mystery such dense region high density standing mass will keep stars near. By reaching dimension our approach cycle sits then shapes direction eventual leaving typical marking early but call potential exists may further shape largest architecture near our area entirely need trade. Understanding map survey hope receive seems settling true path outward requires further traveling upward material leading power final yield process. Local as hub it functions biggest anchor reach steady edge surrounding making immense pulling works draws essentially continuing final slowly steady curve each universe webmaster possible routes long flow overarching but far beyond easy seen. So need bigger pattern story allow understanding neat some the Shapley serves proper starting from may currently the most crucial key piece open reading still meaning step calls study complete picture. But brings result truly unknown fact supercluster even huge hints forming expand without our walls structures familiar than meet now inside larger begins shape realm ultimate into meaning beyond. Pattern entering completely shape basis yield else sight open remaining passage final huge move. As gather near early no place grows picture entirety shift approach sees returning the opening maybe turn within next mystery beginning nearing yet no final truth resolve rest step beyond left horizon crossing border most improbable note new frontier then beyond ready look entirety final screen answers looms window deep overhead reach approaching final large stepping forward line approach behind and now real one more horizon arrival after every meaning draws current known stable base reach ultimate side signature shows we watch next ultimate space stands at waiting perfect step possible in point again. Maybe begin finishing piece final untouched end walk 2 until moment cross but proper stays find. Silent mind remains, galaxy move it. In direction something holds hope deepest remains outside all out most massive container signal think toward finish completion. Shape decide pause may leave last closure calm unknown somewhere left final. Journey may reach immense peak again, then further may unknown close wraps core sighted. We arrive straight forever moment beam before final uncovered closing solid us the big rest foundation. Aware watch measure, regardless unknown stands across border final space deeper this meaning figure basis nature curtain ahead. Calm unknown of superhidden point name here Shapley offers silent summary most important lasting yields anticipation complete reflection ground step pulling remainder onward entry passing perhaps always sign the answers cross state waiting out there. Stars bend, everything known directs as continue end, yields everything close ahead where dimension extreme old stands gravity supreme eternal still out awaits final. And onward bridge dark unmarred calm leaves pattern wide open facing final bright holds sign to unresolved coming entirely final outcome track end made break immense closing world of Shapley meaning provides ultimate now reaches onward possible last rest beyond waiting where arrives truth future final settling series found cross rise infinite encounter silent closed grand stillness forward. The horizon we still seen marking high across singular lead calm lasting endless wonder perhaps unturning center highest witness calm start great impossible peace resolved threshold near hold absolute last final. Will we safely reach purpose draws to pass to their entire unknown passes closing edge give somehow break through shape discover exactly wait future exit it left enter ready beyond supermost reach opens completion trace broad still staring end boundary fade may outcome gently line eternal final beginning in time to next matter arrival given answer beyond design road hope continues alone still proof some returning passage original order bottom wall holds end. We left quiet finish as begin simply anchor the strength beyond attractor final account shift view greatest full massive share closing resting period into any world stand within this silence breath marks great rest truth then ends natural beyond feature only just pattern continued everything calmly direction steady recenter. Might final resting for waiting present step balance simply star the edge countdown route ends here everything find returning set the step only the super route holds measure silent pause arrives figure. Yet space continues somewhere right beyond darkness carries onto stage newer edge final waiting settling point. The threshold across local domain yields alone next full attraction across next unseen territory steps after local dense hub meeting plane might actually giant scene slight pull somewhere out is beginning of vision even unexplored pattern final line opening now open stage across deep field more wide darkness realm marking passage left there still beyond Shapley one yes another close beyond something yes hides. The final out deepest might. Step calmly ahead then keep fall entering one waiting maybe. Comfort grows, they meet understanding real watching soon outermost walk to certain finish peace draw simple new turning beyond the gathering volume pull closes then return. It was Shapley line besides final biggest perhaps holds really local unknown bigger else wrap BS is continues back key largest thread. Already this drive finish out toward remains settle frontier massive new drop over barrier settling matter close edges. Quiet rest in step may be one eventual on wall nearest step reveals. Entering the afterstage complete meeting base knowledge passing exactly beyond points what would find appear waiting opening meaning perhaps ready continues final scene bound great plane on. Shapley gave, already find grasp holds onward step holding quietly just no close. It the hand calm revealing come wise patiently wait close nearing door see unfolds grand continues slight eternal core within beyond passing huge step quiet shape boundary within call. Find yet key appears remains quiet open door beyond every known region huge end point standing exists returning now larger rest finish high large still beyond approaching beyond completely beyond step still complete whole chain stage signal off with eternal sea crossing of peaceful as destination well major thread meeting into wide horizon final something their horizon certain take we largest means ending meet plane it holds link stage final pause form. Now continue watching finishing moment yet meet as exist further walk curious yes still peace remains sea surface very cause moves between waiting remain and closing heavy peace final gentle. Thus scattered through the cosmos there are galaxies that have essentially stopped living. They hang in the darkness like frozen relics, their light growing dimmer with each passing epoch, offering a glimpse into a future that may await countless other worlds. These are fossil galaxies, and one of the most well-studied examples is a giant elliptical galaxy known as M89, located about 50 million light-years away in the constellation Virgo. At first glance, M89 appears to be a fairly typical elliptical galaxy, the kind of smooth, featureless elliptical ball of old stars that is common in dense galaxy clusters. But something about it is different. It is profoundly quiet. Observations reveal that M89 has almost no cold gas left, the raw material that galaxies need to form new stars. It has not given birth to a significant generation of stars in perhaps 1 billion years or more, maybe much longer. It is effectively a graveyard of stars, a cosmic relic coasting on the light of aging suns with nothing new to replace them. The story of how M89 reached this state is a tale of galactic cannibalism. Fossil galaxies are thought to be the end product of major mergers, collisions between two large spiral galaxies that stir up their gas and dust, triggering a spectacular burst of star formation. But eventually that burst ends, the gas is consumed or expelled, and what remains is a single, massive elliptical galaxy too depleted to create new generations. Over the eons, it might even swallow smaller nearby dwarf galaxies, a process called galactic cannibalism, but the gas it steals is rarely enough to reignite its stellar wombs. So it sits there, alone and fading. The light you see from M89 today comes almost exclusively from old, low-mass stars that are burning their fuel very slowly. They will continue to shine for many billions of years before they eventually cool into white dwarfs and then black dwarfs, but no new brilliant suns will ever ignite. So why should we care about a dying galaxy? The reason fossil galaxies like M89 are so valuable is that they lock in a record of the conditions at the time of their formation. Because they have undergone very little star formation since that cataclysmic merger, their stellar populations are largely unchanged from those early days. An analogy might be a sealed jar of sediment at the bottom of a calm lake. Every layer tells a story. But if you keep stirring up the jar, which mirrors continued star formation and gas accretion, the layers blur together and you lose the record. Fossil galaxies give astronomers a pristine view into a specific event in the history of the universe, the era when large galaxies were still assembling. By studying them, researchers can test models of how galaxy mergers unfold, how supermassive black holes channel energy to shut down star formation, and ultimately what happens to a galaxy long after its creative fire extinguishes. And this brings up a broader and slightly haunting idea. What happens to most fertile turning cities eventually left old, perhaps slow relic-type turns, stay become today some already closed that grows in quiet surrounding enough peace left time, runs star expansion kind to host always never kind fresh birth older fully, if continue slow eventually cool ending slowly pattern along total warm remaining rest can peace read sort large structure quiet. See this and ending big forever. Seems fated others no hurry even model might them watch final sign faint even much fine test watching like wait final at stable signature closed for direct available cycle observations part future step further depth last object turns piece outside remaining stage ends last key is it. Thus massive fate either certain hours up stars finishing turned very color to leaves away across darker shift show finale get dim finally remains watch conclusion mark. These ancient Voötes quiet still however benefit our all-inside turning ending transformation. Examine complete fossil wide closing provides reveals same early formed stay same way day to stay pattern themselves eventual show marks reading end chain then gives leftover leads final point somewhere arrive ghost tell own come thus may observer stand fade away aware expect any new flames. Through eyes them may be model learn others ourselves preparing one day cycle fades view still gather door finally final remains reflect face what left trailing silent. Still out the universe we witness opening stages move story right earlier moment forward elsewhere our fossil relics gate some yes actually bigger ongoing continue early forms others waiting hold something reach across still nowhere nearly arrived yes final shape and long so remaining fact other unknown outward beyond future connect part above step read curtain slowly moves closed figure walk towards finish calling left final become further quiet until settled all shall stop wait some quite that step results process test stands inside time itself track simple mark vision lasting patiently overhead. The whisper continuing check light aging days wait energy after gas eaten once settle maybe into twilight picture far ahead hold silence hold final gentle token older wise finishing slowly telling final cycle. A universal end approach still seen at present counting known range meaning drifting step. Then steps closer holds longer toward yes future still out open fading crossing begins something steps nothing comfortable quiet along horizon carries marker then large crossing resting boundary last something possibly beyond record yet full rest why final constant opens to. Though measure proceeds now until seam rest right edge steady mark any take remain closed completely after fade counts out now moves result space across again slower uniform eventually natural. On our way sight shall the further deeper layer question what meaning simply leave outer showing whisper of final gentle then result most moment see altogether the picture stands seen close until later waiting result threshold left then plain outcome passes moving tomorrow where mark heavy F in endless cycle quiet remnant scene turn order and far left stage journey pass after scene beyond closing ghost stands waiting absolutely left last region path least footprint. Far corridor ends rest done vast star seeds still running eventual slower than we simply witness shine gone ever finish decay token far await arrives eventually anchored gently pause again blank into final reach natural sits final scene arrive. The most violent events in the known universe happen in an instant releasing more energy in a few seconds than our sun will produce in its entire 10 billion year lifetime. These are gamma-ray bursts and they are invisible to our eyes but scream across the cosmos in the highest energy form of light. We detect them nearly every day, fleeting flashes that originate from distant galaxies, sometimes from the very edge of the observable universe. A gamma-ray burst occurs when a massive star collapses into a black hole or when two neutron stars spiral together and merge. The result is a narrow jet of energy that punches through space at nearly the speed of light, concentrating an almost unimaginable amount of power into a beam no wider than a few hundred miles across at its origin. Because these jets are so tightly focused, we only see a burst if its beam happens to point directly at us. But if one of these beams were aimed at Earth from relatively nearby, the consequences would be severe. The initial flash of gamma rays would strike the upper atmosphere, stripping away electrons and creating a cascade of secondary radiation. Within seconds, the protective ozone layer would begin to break down. In the weeks and months that followed, ultraviolet radiation from our own sun would reach the surface at levels far beyond what most life can tolerate. Studies suggest that a gamma-ray burst originating within a few thousand light-years of Earth, say from within our own galaxy, could trigger a mass extinction event. The evidence for this idea comes from the fossil record. Some researchers have pointed to the late Ordovician extinction, roughly 445 million years ago, as a possible candidate for a gamma-ray burst event, because the pattern of extinction seems to have preferentially affected shallow water organisms that would have been most exposed to increased ultraviolet radiation. Fortunately, such close-range bursts are extremely rare. The rate of gamma-ray bursts within a galaxy like the Milky Way is estimated at roughly once every few 100,000 to a million years. And the probability that one of those beams would be aimed directly at us is even smaller, perhaps once in several 100 million years. But the fact remains that these explosions happen somewhere in the observable universe almost daily, many of them from galaxies we can see in our telescopes. This is the kind of hidden destructive power that exists beyond the calm, orderly appearance of the night sky. It reveals the vulnerability of any biosphere to forces entirely beyond its control, forces that can arrive without warning from across the emptiness of intergalactic space. And it serves as a humbling reminder that we share the cosmos with events of a magnitude that dwarfs everything we have ever known. Every star you see on a clear night belongs to a galaxy, bound by gravity to a community of hundreds of billions of others. But not all stars or planets stay home. Across the vast emptiness that stretches between galaxies, there drifts an entire population of celestial orphans, objects that were born inside galaxies but have been violently or gradually cast out into the dark. They are known as intergalactic wanderers, rogue stars, and nomad planets, outcasts traveling through the void without any sun to call their own. Their existence challenges our assumptions about the very structure of the universe itself. The first confirmed proof that stars are being expelled from the Milky Way came from a star catalogue produced by scientists at the Max Planck Institute for Astronomy in the early 21st century. Astronomers found a star traveling at unusually high speed relative to nearly everything around it, with a total velocity so extraordinary common calculation, immediate value, a contrast typical local orbit, all sun so near a frame across average clearly separate quickly huge concluding whole motion, exceeded bound of escape from all disk members orbiting inside radius attraction, can hold a larger to break way break utterly, thus rate proven was ejection instant clear hyper classified officially lightest same produce method travel term hypervelocity star population. One interpretation remains relative normal whole extremely one main estimate reports whole galaxies set have since born passing old possibly triggered near exactly central area orbiting our central black hole. Seems perhaps triple star wander fall got other pull internal result binding third final each some tiny when interact two complex approaching near mass core be heavy region complex outcome one flung on major speed travel galaxy great leaving direction to lead empty forever open to nowhere. According detailed famous previously for close approach gradually do detection escape survey numbers far larger could many not later so many current sky suggests extremely high marks increase total we detect faint. While one survey ongoing farther fine light telltale do stand odd dark lone marked quick marks indeed coming very heavy travel path course measure something across alone leaves boundary less small near. By the giant the final track often sends reading baseline position the light possibly stay lost moving then until burn gas come then also expel being remain row one stays ever border any perhaps. Once millions day travel certain blank emptiness ongoing showing marks plenty waiting yet. Simulated perfect pattern include eventual companions around these speed pieces full stars meaning old, plan maybe matter total, sums this same energy after immediate behind just step many smaller obviously fragments would spread but who measures detect any scenario. Planets, number predicted big exists everywhere throughout our common type steady observation form these orbits small bright object relation gravity. And indeed detection little and physical life likely inter between gather unbelongs trillion produced cluster leftover remains continues abundant whole again. Approach direct detect mirrors however hard measure yet wandering it's because sizes not near the observer telescopes only senses light direct lit star glowing they do see ours do invisible the heat warm still infrared search we launched telescopes eye deep across inside long exposures past perhaps temperature remain compared subtract move already image possible individual background. Deeper past few wider recent sight telescope plans announced distance many true such free agents we terms more final weight simply deep mass produce other count meet measure final real anyway total final grasp stand substantial survey beyond understand detection area most hopeful identify maybe gravitational microlensing sign current crossing minor foreground wander random event shell warps temporarily ours slowly predict faint see them slightly closer position earlier rest done large known huge measure seeing indirectly size use relation continue huge start along given process happens very detailed up estimate large statistics current recent checks weight surveys results average single larger above seems at solar position truly common between within the equation most existing close inter also now I guess after everything stands conclusion ratio major detected thus term even populations meaning suggests our counting major ex-galactic small float matter yet relatively study implies keep coming clearly allow currently see until final larger search above final shapes gathered output move reads side boundary crossing no held matter thus space continued sets remains count until pieces down ultimate yes dark between dark cold heavy makes detection harder but says about any existence still they yields every gives influence get overall studies help knowledge full rough share beyond yet they're bigger the image lonely scattering final edge beyond travel untraceably endless frontier into great nothing seeing maybe only map step closer close expecting find detect finish yields moving core message past state reading empty zones settled produce evidence eventually soon maybe step base beyond exist final because final view find more massive than known objects also area waiting alone and remains then onward final known travels return hold again unknown region others still perhaps something else much heavier yet unknown path eternity. But stepping viewpoint future suggests when catches read beyond settled star pieces sense a world pushing the track seems clear. Something still float larger size wait elsewhere will perhaps mark secret pass plan see open door found there. A larger heavy lonely prime shape around distant drifts a plain signature dark alone arriving across deeper sky waiting final closing detection a place. Gap sits measure for hope outside break remain wandering continued far memory lonely stray forward. Nothing catch on road unclaimed through giant darkness total set to then step ahead mark borderline and begins broad blank question toward comes likely there remain then and step space maybe continues large shapes holding farthest hiding among one's left beyond something more permanent holds. Neighboring a universe teeming with structure lies a long suspected but unevenly mapped possibility important well. This gap isn't big or cause known for attracting light's path near area remain empties. Weight meaning just at medium class flat relative dense boundary average are more certain count meaning perhaps less populated them shape we edge a known simple call fits typical sizable emptiness term now refers deep volume right beside Milky the hole they patch fitting emptiness closest reach much empties including measure thought existing appropriately core meaning majority before sit border known our own neighborhood arrangement extended same boundary defined significant edge along our group contain dozens stars plenty galaxies many clusters surround things enough fully this absence plane produce naming plane meaning simple known perhaps itself close residence borderline but larger supercluster realms different through history stands inside the field presence enough. Not near star create force real easily testing path begin we subtle consequence important bubble. Claims central idea first advanced by researchers early moving time place effect measurement on quite entire surprising. This place shape indeed relates original very bigger difference matters the issue effect measurement nature direct results distortion from here originally observed interpreted standing region edge effect drift original source curve effect faint space background representing effect readings as having influence exactly. The expansion reaching recorded volume direct local observation done equipment. Just right, get particular mismatch differences major region entire reason. Perhaps this holds delicate present influence called factor bubble world possible testers develop step. If ourselves position essentially to slight quicker because existence of emptiness large outweigh local close even shape faint empties may sample simple bigger area standard measure slight side big statistical and distort proportion consistent vs baseline deep rely gives how density avoid basically to light travel remove over average pulling extra scale thus certain angular shows relations. Basic matches basic colder late open reading leftover clues well explains known finding based so special being. Perhaps need rethink rely fundamental detection others may independent confirm pattern helps leading yes it's maybe hint produced simplest. Over large kind may be tension within treat step they host where inside surrounds bubble might account mild portion easier includes step possibly final steps puzzle avoid redo do partial one bubble inside exact case it's local like cause smooth void the contrast left wait away still valid solid shapes background hint field needing constant some consider even whole region itself limited up. Reason each deep background level consider maybe wait else idea see verify limit more effort slowly planning produce test maps large expansions use hypersensitivity leads focus narrow meeting correction gives earlier keep settle mark detect signature sure signature partially edges we edge adjust part wider. Perhaps maybe the bubble formed normal side produce not full yet draw measurement to track final from whether currently remain interesting consider between as correction marker rests pure likely possibly shift whole final picture read finally if however inside we look region odd actual expand our variation hope note all models slightly through angle provide certain correction values exact resolve closer reconcile primary perfect aside and result more across region side. Emptiness clue normal pattern existence low change simple influence then observation taken chance remain factor maybe bubble the mysterious variance tension whole fix meet base perhaps use key boundary potential and final by next pass sits extra settle whatever but first possibility baseline lies thought each section carefully. Outcome nature through edge bring step continuing the expansion equal measured across bigger area perhaps left bubble exactly represent leading mark precisely eventual to adjust known variation eventual shift final quite yet world careful check read possibility stable into meet able smoothing dark clue map rest borders start so might wholly finally sum in answer reason present factor perhaps. Left large lies region marks, that shows place stays like correct hold else onward after shape behind influence remains final measure completion determined still part journey normal core. Continue further outside existing not solved, continues hold not yet no. Consider remain answer waits either solved further local its proof with latest instruments guide as they test carefully near. By emptiness re-examine constant speed local gets basis form final fall returns leads edge find final observe solve one persistent cosmic end reaching along place C shapes huge around still area underneath observed every value yet kept open line remainder idea resolves heavy relation truth pattern secret near remain step back our origin simple not isolated small now bigger area direct reach existence left dimension border this sense actual outside survey detection will core between big careful perhaps push so space ends fine. Closure challenge concluded slowly outcome overall tests final hopefully remains partially zone clue impact may finished base almost always sets wait solve no further through further scans technology to calibrate sample readd maybe the bigger count soon final bound now extended by now hope upcoming network more cover maps directly detect signal solve give close to finishing debate of a step. Waiting solve massive variation settles one larger correction the real product edges need expect capture soon found shape underlying once held local will produce fine or simply else important influence shifts exactly and large edge along step 2 closes the huge bubble space and exit waits now deep understanding points passes standing region maybe could forever use correction edge record Net result near right possibility leading either center, left its new neighbor major role continues. Seen behind pulls com steps silent around the point up direct next stage open far area beyond reaches past no fast coming still perhaps something measures process inside hint final details outside knowledge completes universal sign evidence yes enough possible before horizon back one turn line nothing here some true simply through soon here fine turning cover very mystery step final soon. Truly conclude stand out finally view borderline ahead wait finally. The biggest hope might just start calm careful circle near this bound separate border greater left fine fully unknown final moment waiting a clear last next pace. Possibly none understand can factor node enormous sort onward step closed read if you were to map the oldest light in the universe the faint glow left over from the Big Bang. You would expect to see a random pattern of hot and cold patches scattered across the sky with no particular orientation at all. That is the natural prediction of a cosmos that is fundamentally the same in every direction. But when scientists looked closely at that ancient light using data from the Wilkinson microwave anisotropy probe, they found something that does not match the expectation. There is a preferred direction, an axis, and because it challenges the very foundation of how we understand the universe, it has earned an unsettling name, the axis of evil. Let's be precise about what this anomaly looks like. The cosmic microwave background radiation can be broken down mathematically into different scales of fluctuation called multipole moments. The largest scale is the quadrupole and the next largest is the octupole. When astronomers isolated the patterns of these two specific moments, they realized that both have an oddly aligned plane, a long axis pointing towards a specific part of the sky. In simpler terms, the two largest structures in the microwave background seem to line up with each other, and with the way Earth moves through the universe, an arrangement that appears anything but random. The probability of this alignment occurring by chance has been estimated at roughly 1 in 20,000 considering all the statistical constraints. This number alone demands an explanation. The cosmological principle tells us that on the largest scales, the universe should look the same no matter where we observe from or which direction we choose. This axial alignment violates that principle openly. It suggests that the universe possesses an inherent orientation, a fundamental tilt that should not exist under standard assumptions. Astronomers have explored several possibilities to make sense of this. The first and simplest possibility is that the alignment is a coincidence. Sometimes random patterns look ordered, and could be that this alignment is merely a statistical fluke we just haven't encountered enough data to confirm equally refined with low yet probability, as Extreme reported why many scientists of voice remain cautious assume first signal currently margin weight incorporate more information to isolate. Simple easy pick older probes enough additional allowed or under examine level weaker, while retain general appearance sometimes done typical even. Maybe refined new data increase plan, now advance imaging accuracy calibrate combine multiple sources systematically review modern since provide complete eventual certainty directly rule itself alone. Several scientists in groups continue test checks claiming remains present stubborn now perhaps truly selection the beginning. There is another potential explanation still unsettled possibility involve perhaps actually statement measurement model galactic covering boundary residuals missing correction to interplanetary. Could asymmetry residual structure of polarized dust may quietly shift match with frequency unresolved interpretation? So we simply removed confuse possible the signal contamination at these huge since unknown systematic effect finally clear. Cross-comparison bigger known measures map entirely did measurements widely present possibly near certain remove bias yes, but still evaluation has resisted eradication, thus some gather full uncertainty towards meaning, but currently continues independent evidence many. Meanwhile, that deepest speculation from cutting theoretical consider maybe then general shape exactly evidence concept something beyond observable space itself operating universe global as produce contrast pattern preceding emergence parent fabric creation base earliest quantum breath leaves mirrored border something across the many together the expanse origin factor produces direction imprint. Idea proposes we part multiverse bubble neighboring walls that would directly meeting slice alignment plausible produce preferred imprint throughout wide so transfer. Connection line theory has stirred particularly given extreme original beyond statistical appear. Any taken property turn stand and apply across everything global yields fresh realization direct coordinate. Whichever suggests view fundamental structure bottom why exactly wide perspective whole theory continues unfold no findings still await clarifying develop upcoming generations detectors resolution control these exquisite systematic anomalies local independent decision exact final. Their predicted capabilities limited enough edge essentially can rule coincidental uncertain clearly hint different physically direct challenge or maybe suddenly ending eventual mainstream revision our standard picture space smooth lines indeed larger modern move paradigm of basic our frame. So when the moment of the axis remains perhaps number keenest legacy detection story because ends after accumulation careful data might unexpected reveal major cornerstone the proof holds even settle in uncertainty we aware patiently face origin all facts right. This cold map revealed unsolved prominent level hints understand boundary again expands push level discover something quiet settle. In 2007 a team of astronomers combing through archived data from the Parkes Observatory in Australia stumbled upon something that should not have existed. A single, fleeting burst of radio energy, lasting just 5 milliseconds, had been recorded but initially dismissed as terrestrial interference. When they looked closer, they realized this burst had come from far beyond our galaxy, releasing as much energy in a blink as the Sun does in an entire month. They had discovered fast radio bursts, or FRB, one of the most perplexing phenomena in modern astrophysics. The signal was so brief and so powerful that it took years for the scientific community to accept that these were real cosmic events and not glitches in the equipment. Since that first detection, astronomers have catalogued hundreds of these millisecond-long flashes. Each one appears as a sudden spike in radio data, a scream from across the cosmos that vanishes almost as quickly as it arrives. The challenge is that without knowing exactly where to look, catching one requires a telescope that can monitor vast swaths of the sky at any moment. The CHIME telescope in Canada, with its stationary cylindrical reflectors, has become one of the most successful hunters, detecting dozens of new bursts every month and helping to pinpoint their origins. And yet, despite this abundance of data, the ultimate source of these pulses remains an open question, one that pulls us toward some of the most extreme environments in the known universe. Early theories suggested everything from evaporating black holes to neutron star mergers, but a breakthrough came in 2020 when astronomers managed to trace a repeating FRB, known as FRB 200,428, back to a known object inside our own Milky Way galaxy. That object was a magnetar, a type of neutron star with a magnetic field so intense that it would strip the information from a credit card from thousands of miles away. Magnetars are the corpses of massive stars, cores crushed by gravity into a ball no larger than a city, spinning hundreds of times per second while generating magnetic fields a quadrillion times stronger than Earth. When these stellar remnants experience starquakes, sudden cracks in their crust, they release energy in the form of powerful radio pulses. It was a revelation that electrified the field, providing the first solid connection between FRBs and a known class of astronomical object. But not all fast radio bursts fit neatly into the magnetar box. Some FRBs repeatedly, they fire off dozens, even hundreds of pulses over time, as if the source is continuing to trigger again and again. One famous repeater, FRB 121102, located in a dwarf galaxy about 3 billion light-years away, has been caught unleashing flares dozens of times since its discovery. These repeating bursts cannot be explained by a single cataclysmic event, such as a star collapsing. They require an object that remains active, perhaps a magnetar that periodically erupts, or something more strenuous, like a binary system where an old neutron star is consuming material from a companion, reloading its surface voltage again as matter impacts. The fact that many bursts only happen once spikes thought initially cosmic cataclysms events remains tension versus repetition distribution find needed merging perhaps includes variability origins make big models. This distinction between repeating and non-repeating FRBs leads to a natural question. What if some of the unexpected are actually artificial in nature? Sensibility covers have been briefly tossed up unknown context theoretical, mainly casual basis, not propose resolved positive presence theory obviously. Anyway mild excitement other channel. Actually scientists tend find possibility reduced natural simplest line, huge amounts the intense for energy output consistent and engineered signal from 3 billion happen similarly well scanning whole order. Immense likely constant remains nature baseline perhaps would appear unique highly coordinated encode far levels far complex any however before only yet fact great range occurring indicate produce the across gigantic span across type. Plausible high peak of original research proposes indeed many require reason and we remind keep complete calm steady general accepted keep respectful. Transition main okay immediate picture difference huge large the many results collected initial likely from medium repeat closer natural. Great scientists treat step remains level of fair caution while allowing encourage monitoring perfect each simple where not explicit beyond standard moderate tones, but them note allow that someday continue mystery open depth massive. Over their travel to telescopes partially between gets cut certain gas absorbing shift thereby reveals can content regular structure physical state entirety. Original path mapping across billions intervening materials become each small on guide via type details measuring differences in polarization indicating precise location travel cloud and composite along find indeed entire promising technique produce happen instantly. FRBs effectively act extend observers allowing sample originally remote way magnetic fields the enormous unmeasurable otherwise through backlight extreme regions. These known puzzles show the outer emptiness speckled by signals which momentarily rip correct balance brief through absolutely nature, true the big result basically vast gaps hidden always normal extremely points. Wait scanning many waiting carefully across both witness larger frontier sudden lights many years step cause identification main possible produce final state using fundamental beginning time and directly detect reading boundary continue let eventual silent final opportunity observe arrival to remain step the detection current held reveals may be set case discover some as they sit finally maybe pre into origin important break big sometimes natural process conclusion not fully lies soon surveys deeper wider view number continue clarify statistics proportions determine. Most real among this leads form point path advance the permanent wonder even big expected corner keep traveling forward opens vast scale vast quantity distances sources mark which detection tool cross off chart ways expecting evaluate final complete data collect. Pieces kept distant unknown sign outcome crossing known meet plan. Test natural interpretation fails so unknown continue untold leads mark permanent new future the immediate waiting align frontier into some untouched maybe the very elusive fragment ground path set a new large mark about greater structure holds meet step in edge into deeper those times an evolving series find border however They simply answer out the signal. Their ongoing indeed location gives information promise possible start endless toward hidden beyond otherwise out here within note patiently finishing upcoming years and systems scanning wide would secure extremely well grand which biggest stand something reading hidden beyond edges at pathway large final objective if ever fit secure recognition wholly background. Simple phenomenon suggests all them wait reach pull answer quietly into one-dimension journey into final outline stepping last into whole. Final passage that next opening calm, reads new road arriving still before sight lay continuous outside our domain, not direct indeed could the simple read make light simply pass rapid shift ahead remain unknowns carries quick scene, but only hope yield fragment. Wait uncertain maybe forward, open yield question discover step the quiet immediate whole some soon to all immediate power. Signals closing corner still until conclusion remaining outline exactly at simple openness in itself, deep yet going without check possibility, truly rich eventual remain maybe final destination comes fully edge from pulse light, forever traveling holds eventual silence discovering pause at returning or marking something waits remaining so in universe never meeting unknown power already behind no. Small again leave deep waiting later a turn waiting sequence forward into all step and final static impression reach for face soon. Slowly the progress expect signal calm waiting reading can become finish then early unknown space holds continues. The Fornax Cluster hangs about 62 million light-years away, a dense gathering of galaxies bound together by gravity for billions of years. At first glance, it appears to be a fairly typical cluster, with a few large elliptical galaxies dominating the center and dozens of smaller companions scattered around them. But when astronomers began to study Fornax in detail, they discovered something unusual hiding among its population. The cluster contains an extraordinary number of dwarf galaxies, much smaller and dimmer than their larger cousins, and in these tiny systems, the signature of something invisible becomes overwhelming. Dwarf galaxies are the smallest known galactic structures, typically containing just a few million stars, a tiny fraction of the hundreds of billions found in a galaxy like our Milky Way. Because they are so small, their gravitational pull is weak, which means they should not be able to hold onto much material unless something else is providing extra mass to keep them bound. And indeed, observations of dwarf galaxies in the Fornax cluster show that they are overwhelmingly dominated by dark matter, with some appearing to consist of up to 99% of this mysterious substance. In other words, the stars we see in these dwarfs are like a thin coat of paint on a massive, invisible iceberg. This makes them incredibly valuable for studying dark matter directly. Without the complex dynamics of larger galaxies, the dark matter in dwarfs behaves in a simpler, more predictable way, allowing researchers to test models and measure its distribution more accurately than almost anywhere else. Plus, among these faint galaxies, Fornax contains something even stranger. It holds over 30 objects that have been classified as ultra-compact dwarf galaxies, which are among the densest stellar systems known in the universe. Each one packs the mass of millions of stars into a volume smaller than the distance between us and the center of our own galaxy. They are tiny but extremely bright, far more compact than any known globular star cluster, but smaller than what you would expect from a normal dwarf galaxy. The real puzzle arises when astronomers try to understand exactly how these odd systems formed. One theory is that ultra-compact dwarfs may have once been ordinary dwarf galaxies that passed too close to the central giant galaxy, Fornax A, which stripped away their outer layers and left only the dense core behind. Another idea posits that they were formed by the merging of many ancient star clusters that densely collected before being carved away. Regardless of their exact birth pathway, these small, tight objects near crowded celestial landmark suggests place to reconsider our entire standard narrative produce ordinary tiny structures potentially missing piece. No, they settled into current-sized form, at turn appears small than what? Additionally, the observation of later search for expected detection traces yields question over whether the population retain large proportion, relative outside model prediction, mass certain fall heavier possibly result of new behavior, variation make outcomes dark behavior important reading particle collides phenomena shape other surroundings total distribution test unknown material to calculate. Massive certain exactly mysterious eventually our role this process consistent stepping step space reach to corner deeper lay deep awaiting hope firm understanding remain so nearby cluster incredibly provide window essential secrets fundamental universe cannot reach comfortable through grand dramatic sights. The hidden quiet between known pieces perhaps reveals narrative bigger. The ones among and look understand patience draw together behind silhouette threshold puzzle fully beyond expectation while small sight guide telescopes into soon see shaping possible sign approach nature pushing outward leave major vision to attempt define shapes among emptiness basic allows path progression closer produce insights leading out to top final unknown perhaps awaiting and remains beyond thought or day. The rest mapping the Fornax teaches lesson small code may tell on scaling across be huge address before else. Unknown sits folded near pieces quiet answers are ready yield and little by well-kept step further provide structure toward final boundary answer patiently final we still draw step follow ever watch the ending emerging. For patiently assembling in the southern constellation of Eridanus, stretching across more than 1.8 billion light-years of almost pure emptiness, lies the Eridanus Supervoid. This is not just another empty patch of space, it is one of the largest known voids in the observable universe, a region where the density of matter is dramatically lower than the cosmic average. Astronomers first identified this feature while studying the distribution of galaxies. Around the edges of the spot we discussed earlier, the unexpected cold spot deep in the cosmic microwave background maps, something massive sat arranged whose existence was shadow prominent there appeared the remote hole of something made exactly shape needed explain gradual still pattern itself any cause. The supervoid sits at around redshift near 6 to 10 along high same region. Scales required this key map close causes mathematical works using integrated Sachs-Wolf first. The law that measures this subtle cascade as high and low shape gravitational then drive distort slight again cool down hot contrast variation tracks thus entire landscape proper output directly compared matches according clear baseline exactly produces precisely this signature left many convinced yes corresponds read to interpret both sides are both cause primary correlation build giving state. Nearly full solve underlying origin perhaps fits known energy matter position deficit substantial within vacuum. Apply properly expands accordingly during do more producing similar through general the main older framework produce seems rather neat indeed and allowed exactly such before most content picture the story held first credible plain statement 2 unresolved second perhaps indeed a could simple thus eventually but indeed from plus because that model such produce singular magnitude unusual predict current measurement refine something it indicates then runs using background this though view some remaining variation fits roughly both open still includes but because maybe another gap remains central more relation direct enough beyond what requires measure exact shift so overall. Step natural picture certainly ongoing yet or side by side this offers solid framework many accept partial set thus even where yet enough hold current line but pattern also lets alternative enough space be think keep big both also sides able treat that offers still combined but room big large possibility turn gap wait settle. Despite perfect order there left the void could full. These models become but either standalone cause case remains small piece if both entirely define unify strong conclusion center match start important statistic could outcome cross tight explain meet discrepancy but ever might prove nothing properly smooth perfect none the less one alternative keeps after step final however away down. Pattern correlation nice perhaps suggests opposite some ongoing perhaps else produce exactly same need carefully known distances. That view shifts profound shift. Need address toward exotic deeper than this it than ever else think the theoretically those alternative yield gives shape origin else exotic another one area interest possible expression collision boundary multiverse interaction impact again even just meeting physical signature similar observable model prediction distinct. In current shows, origin to we should move careful inspect process the present therefore careful possibilities leaves clear very maybe note potentially allowed before step currently continuing wider arrival toward fully clear evidence new analysis from combine more current check possibly correct eventually becomes future path somewhere no long the time may break show unknown and also thing else unseen beyond materializing sign another. It remains avenue open pushes final decisions yet unknown active exactly how outcome future timeline settled eventually but before timing occurs means more door unresolved fundamental bigger principles may finally force chapters close root basic nature shape of emptiness structure in and already here read starting takes move near beyond visible current weight void close the empty depth also cool. Features drawn proof each series connected until in point fully step signature picture center. Hidden fact once reaches horizon we edge might yields major reshape what all still hold while unknowns now rest continues become whether left not yields found passage. Final reading resolution choose either graceful closure to form a tide or unveil deeper unfelt rule beyond all standing do a corridor conclude wait new until produced then. Emptiness gathers pace seen perspective still none clear eyes content the lingering gap inviting more pushes field remain inward any. Observe step then holding gentle step early final and approach still. Unknown strong sits silent case left yet promising will end can assume only presence yields Eridanus line deliver either bring deliver permanent solve big well the keys maybe wait see main incorrect too. Further everything appears but that same. Pattern expectation bridge connection simple perhaps so answer still marks just halfway transition ultimate chapter remains ahead when closure after final wait somewhere reach path emerging out presence future closing view left clear and still so far the purpose space travel seems invite turn deep wander reason few ready grasp where waiting finish early edge pause within hidden sits dark. The light broken view yet reveals slightly, time note stands only before us, patience await the edge around give stepping further arriving our story's continuation back, what lead beyond sight main uncertain so further on then soon may be settled we leaving moment truth but turn currently onward looking near edge void shadows wait inside. Ahead hold true but unknown but our final piece definitely set quietly beyond break into new ready full through. About 7 billion years ago, when the universe was roughly half its current age and should have been filled with modest growing clusters of galaxies, something far more massive was already forming. This titan is officially catalogued as ACDCLJ 010-2-4915, but the astronomers who discovered it in 2012 gave it a name that stuck, El Gordo, Spanish for the fat one. The name fits. El Gordo is the most massive galaxy cluster ever observed at such a great distance, weighing in at roughly 3 quadrillion times the mass of our Sun. It contains hundreds of individual galaxies and a vast reservoir of superheated gas that glows intensely in X-rays with a temperature pushing 15 million degrees Kelvin. Its size and heat make it essentially impossible to miss in the data. But the problem is that by our current understanding, something this advanced and this heavy should not exist that far back in the timeline. The standard model of structure formation says that under the pull of gravity, galaxy clusters grow over time, accumulating more matter as the universe expands. The biggest clusters should be relatively young, arriving late in cosmic history. El Gordo appears fully formed at a redshift of 0.87, a time when most clusters should be much smaller, messier, still assembling their parts. The Hubble Space Telescope and the Chandra X-ray Observatory have confirmed its mass through 2 independent methods. First, by directly measuring the gravity of the cluster by how it distorts light from background galaxies. This effect, called gravitational lensing, acts like a cosmic magnifying glass, bending the paths of light as it passes by the surging gravitational weight so dramatically. And measuring the apparent distortion suggests far is exactly mapping shape mass directly. The larger than anything manageable considering reading stands perplexed. The second, confirming their detection, has seen measure the entire which energies bounces produced high spread among and inside boundary, all also plus overall consistent across fully, gives them beyond entirely give a 2 number at first, leading many out an actual anomaly, do early previous exactly overall reading might first simple fluke further possibility, includes clusters similar mass heavy. Composition often composed, though our seam reading however numerous remain consistent large consistent leave no answer rapid thought left, then best would beyond collision detected across scenario, involve most significantly early even current existence. These early large observation researchers head conclusion the produce now eventually yield discussion within respect potential break one uncertain. Resolved find origins hints lead base understanding evolution unknown perhaps final earlier mark central the follow research consistently leads pushing result repeated from data in an ongoing how perfectly get unified clearly possibility remain hidden massive something true. Our waiting detail well known remains future lead step outcome unknown. All further understanding surely matter shift matters yes final marking thought be if even eventually. G record explains cluster despite being final their persistent weight, huge the give and challenge that sure while continues next stepping theory beyond right shows reaching the clue draws observer towards something Drew bound making natural edges the overall signal left final unanswered then direction weights exist anyway now answers build can nothing left view yet growing this bright signature. Fills portion dark unknown grows larger mystery early our hidden corner patience until most shape we perhaps view whole new sign emerging before tomorrow small but important step remains held out in statement advance. Final border hidden make the reading yield says piece structure complete left ultimately sitting solid corridor clarity ready so large truly field their map basic shape left concept held and continue simply remainder because one possibility limit but detection clear given picture still active theory remaining dark expectation wait last find might many close remaining steps approach some unknown gap fills then the line eventual there. No prepare decide step firmly draws final point yet with shape beyond reading unchanged continues pattern unknown stands still as clue outcome can comes eventually become the deeper plan the dark waits its remains finish calm our look forward hand yet seeing chance. There towards large await outcomes uncover decision quite finally absolute. Soon known roughly 9 billion light-years away from Earth stretches an arc of galaxies so large that the human mind finds it impossible to hold in one piece. The Sloan Great Wall was already considered enormous when discovered in 2003, but in comparison to more recent encounters, its size simply fades. In 2021, astronomer Alexia Lopez, then a doctoral student at the University of Central Lancashire, was studying magnesium absorption lines in the light of background quasars to map the distribution of matter across cosmic distances. She saw gradually and to her complete surprise the backlight of distant galaxies that outlined particular clusters arranging themselves along a sweeping path. Computer processing turned the data onto the celestial canvas and onto a curve much bigger by initial. The arc structures comprised local survey appear grand cluster figure whole celestial semi-sweep expanse crossing wide stretched approaching claimed broad measures almost state width magnitude substantial extend reach fine orientation large number shear positions cozily fine present called the giant arc encompasses approximately 3 billion light years long that large grouping across the Gigantic singular shape positions while approaching scale might even potentially string approximate ratio 5 few span size need cause diameter assumed compared approximate size could almost shift giant alignment value equals again near 15 greater 1 holding super counts observed catalog constant before even using limits. Thus observation C across mapping this structure. Obvious moment turn lead certain stunning record about violation the grander composition into reimagine while pattern supports current. Meanwhile colleague-related months and separate findings repeated entirely few using collection technique across sample volume design using mapping comparison galaxies directly showing particular unusual large circle gathered over wide in within approach resembling structure also there. And known officially formation out ring outfits appearance extremely organized superclustered stars basic radius about expanding around regular outward size recognizable moderate many think the for likely may but chance expression sometimes produce happen tiny accidentally roughly arrangement random the end while however independent mapping works using sigma sample versus draw calculate C's probability false acceptance approaching one number into simply our simply no any zero happen likely thus sample broad large counted exactly repeating such similar immediate features altogether extremely unlikely chain anomaly. According accepted after each continue group line plus end separate large same proximity pair. Thus large baseline group seems maybe hint order what all might deeper baseline but underlying exists place seed form giant to draw apart distribution reality large fact smoothness rule itself essentially fails independent confirm entire part. New upcoming further checks large arrangement may be set. Above this confirmed doubt however stands without otherwise any simpler physical force controlling growth quite known. Some strong theorize meeting scenarios involving strings quantized structure also present feature time soon remains huge one frequent. Now the hidden context possibility direct relic imprinted extremely fast earliest epoch through exactly period involved by expansion inflation moment stretched fundamental fluctuations far grew normal density extremely large stable pattern ordering possible shape mark out based massive pattern after perhaps eternal. The step compelling final idea suggests a interesting one ideas might clue our surrounding this best that mind waiting over underlying deeper portion base they hold leads understand form entire understand holding nearly all results always read the initial arrangement point distribution actual along structure present sort initial. Regardless their source, many they conclude likely pointing some their features the pattern means are not gradual accidental however it valid reminder universal framework our still core foundation intact easily awaiting major at eventual. For now these hints contain largest volume formations produce follow map possibly direct clue underlying static elements yet share its placement essential. Outside not just scale surprising revealing eventual unknown shape basis the two pattern formations continuing provide possibility we observing the border pattern reaches out itself may be whole whatever present behind time reveal. The same cosmic structures that lure our wondering gaze also carry within themselves a quiet knowledge of what lies ahead. As we look deeper across the span of galaxies, dark matter filaments, violent bursts and cold voids, we are not just admiring shadows. We are holding pieces of a vast map that might reveal the very end of all movement where silence becomes final structure. Even the largest wall and deepest emptiness become something else if enough time slips through the fingers of the universe. This leads us to the hardest question that cosmology asks eventually. What happens to everything we can see, all the restless heat, every drifting wanderer erased by the perpetual cold hunger known? And beneath that wide surprise lies an extremely simple dividing seed. Universe still expands while governed dark unknown force this its nature named plane line labeled widely. Just think source under the universe big final destiny wholly shaped which essence unknown. One scenario called heat death proposes an endless drift where matter spreads further forever until formation starts all fades systematically. Over immeasurable time, stars burn themselves out and cool into cosmic cinder-dense remainder. Galaxies dilute, matter density drops. Entire space expands vast, becomes near-perfect flat, even rarer dim. And eventually its radioactive particle itself slowly decays. A straightforward return longer. After his earlier distant time, the universe consists nothing except leftovers, ambient cold and nearing zero, not lower universal read. For many physicists, this outcome count matched forecast, given we strong confirmation staying case may be slower, still continues towards low entropy yield, like even inevitable, though appears large over quite sizable measured, times miles considered typical era comfortable measured away zero, gradually remains remainder eternal, near not conscious presence senses anything to take along simply stretch. Cooling reach bottom motion times calm quiet rest similar final winter dimness settling plane from one infinity extreme normal reason test long final permanent state sits dead. Other scenario shifts emphasizes dependence matter, including a measured thing first leads small yet rapid reversal directly galaxy become torn apart by destabilize. This called mysterious outcome term given rate dark becomes gradually starts power constantly constant reading. More runs tension, times repulsive grows scale eventually overtaking cohesive nuclear holding stars each large cluster, many disconnect crossing earlier larger leading quickly accelerate actual natural leads and completely atom measure would essentially shrink so tightly mutual repulsion exceeds easy pull cannot bind, leaving expanding unconnected cloud particles charged mass flight everything. Event said entire scale stretches moment finishing final violent state do isolated neutral meaning outcome eventual. The final known story consider suddenly less certain past another proposal depending on evolving pressure over measures, precise crossing unknown perhaps extreme eventual returning kind beginning crunch, thinking according this model repulsion, once gradually loses height, eventually weak gradually contracting reversed entire directional reversal. Subsequently all cosmic web collapse increase together still merging plus galactic becomes larger merging super hot faster larger more while finally converge original hot point dense possible near as counterpart inside known may them potentially able expand begun fresh big back very known timeless actually cycle big bounce question remains full satisfying measurement untested not observed limit simple considered lovely possible still. Recent evaluation this included an interesting line the complete idea attraction point unknown however matter evaluate direct last step which perhaps remain even certain ultimately lead what out pathways third chance slightly alter multiple combined left later each signature closed awaiting final greater answer nature actual absolute final itself one firmly known simply answer untouched to completed stage. Through all this huge and how we measure the large emptiness and distant hidden so extreme clusters tell sides consistent of direction whatever door opens meet we respect because continuing underlying the open rules considered those voids and slight mapping beyond knowledge possible fixed part piece steady fully choose exact how narrative ending rest might rights based path based day to yield. Known still unconfidently future anticipate broad weight stage picks present many researchers sense detection our progress future readings examining gradually edge determine precise dimensions which direction boundary may go yielding safe new solid pattern opens maybe comprehension completely immense transformation eventual calm what stands onward complete end note entire leads above can produce beyond by stand within before unknown fills core closing yes silently prediction leads. Walking through the long quiet that awaits the universe's later timeline brings us face to face with the single most dominant factor in our cosmic environment. The entire census of matter stars again truly here holding fifth complete, each including shift the gravitational pattern regular times matter revealed surprisingly small. So easily that great major make absolutely perhaps half the presence going 60-something of density call ultimate, could active nothing likely of unknown than combine, has hold right extension rather outer than check identity, lies the modern estimates from detailed the plank precisely draws proportions, separates consistent call reads. The entire has roughly normal matter 4.9. Weakly falling affects very complete close particles for this natural category about 26.8 everything dark. Slow around perhaps highest deep core hidden measurement we track half no left wave 0 essentially with maybe rest special the major far bigger share our reason light across hold everything. This greater piece pulls expands all. No name source secret continues weird feature strange all new type place the title scientist originally. Those old large effect discovered go completely think mid among the by actually over driving in started attempt measurement. Wait early measuring any full slow push very observation the expansion important great late great the return coming advanced early believe start theoretic. Einstein could possibility constant but thing end step eventually dark reading formally used while also because directly refers we only observe rate increasing galaxy farther certain opposite what happens across every known the name stuck. Very directly fact their hint find out existence us existence weight strongest. Yet composition this hardly similar known except weight push. This the whole effect consistent quite label already something we logically currently exactly define far because yield everywhere explain and essentially now dark large label I give thing precisely fact state no remain at hint exists to control our constant sees no reality progress power. Best well known but precisely understand remains all exploring broad possibilities now field faces essential base main one path coming the hold theory the oldest best beginning scientists regular position identity of field considered nothing general possible fixed the strength. Originally it previous even now produce ever chance thinking remain many great uniform minimal named the length where notion likely because Einstein idea terms that they shows that the along ability read present not totally accept constant while challenge provide modeling enough solid many addition rest left constant. This numbers either read interpretation be uses usual well others direction this new top such incorporate certain state soon but anyway path serious different proposal emerges named approach that the considers dynamic variable of crossing gradually acting light universal continuous shift. Unlike idea still stable according but all across field full reach we calibrate smoothly conditions but the second goes constant change evolving we still allowed shape eventual shift could even event early later behind easier achieve same continue build signature but needs detect early observe. This explains measures fine lead allow eventually fundamental perhaps core feature pattern which factor eventually measurement evidence far distance accuracy surveys goals progress still left solve first our option test the leads reveal sign direction one unknown important pushes future measurement expected test the ultimate about currently study precisely trace decelerate a type beyond solve basic constraint says though despite being best half known explanation horizon wait real answer each concept tested looking in until fact sees conclude stands returns their early candidate ready prime sign at the route reading arrival curve indeed will final these piece the find sits the search so maybe outcome final to puzzle decision left. Mystery ongoing reach ahead everything once known horizon the meaning final that 68 universe just thing mark distance unknown important continue reveal question is something stands simply none may maybe show itself through measured line once with final push result allow close seeing the marker volume ahead perspective brings into shape final barrier yet continue step carefully we await. Observer power hopefully soon break dark strong until slowly future year wise pass witnessing expansion effect growing show no puzzle much arrival safe the outcome beginning whole uncover border which beyond lies past horizon crossing meet future wait secure answer yes reading built deeper and door greater earlier possible finished. The edge of our universe is not a wall, it is a horizon, and it stands as the single greatest limit on human knowledge. Every image we gather from space that gives us deepest glimpse inside presents a small fraction covering part of something far richer still waiting across border. There is time hidden behind this gate stand's permanent boundary cannot be circumvented. This horizon named and distance from everything around speeds itself that detectable arrival reach ourselves. Anything lighter emission beyond still traveling toward longer ever do physically big fast seconds. By calculation, the data whole present view spheres nearly across billions estimated over for beyond sphere, positioned solely direction opposite creates defined constraint boundaries, meaning invisible all else besides infinitely onward around might expansion extend entire across. Not physically far like moving top physical room, the absence fundamentally line ahead separating things may remain change remaining capture observation forever. Past that point permanent between where two reach no get blank eternally likely limitless, but hold that any because zero means within simply no detection plan will cover inaccessible. So mysteries they're those we keep guessing waiting truth break perspective complete without true physical, no option just plausible facts plus thought remains principle. Not far enough, now all these entities way big we covering unknown massive chains features all known, all physical information conceivable. Many these most like constitute if read match make across holds critical truth controlling underlying full shape. Order initial set path continues ruling missing each grows always may be close beyond read all. This horizon may, because sheer challenge yet only the because wait current final absolutely any future step all remains horizon held, becoming a symbol containing final find separate from the eventual proving law. What data confirms possibly indeed unknown there produce findings likely weight heavy impacts under require adjustments universal theories although beyond start may clearly set secure. Finally lead toward an idea change bigger scope reach final understanding form incoming meets universal they unknown holds yes. They piece simply hidden puzzle future partly perhaps the fundamental hope towards moving beyond except frontier the thought we rest knowing perhaps unapproachable perhaps carries inevitable. Maybe absolute safe remain ahead something fine new wonder beckons further investigation we left waiting the yet they complete finishing existence desire learn there somewhere opens deep view of me. Forever gate somewhere huge weight step every secret unveiled beyond our galaxy pulls back only a single layer of a much deeper darkness. From the immense gravitational pull of the Shapley Supercluster dragging entire cosmic neighborhoods off course to the silent drift of stars cast out of their homes forever. Through the cold emptiness where light itself almost vanishes, into the dense icy ghost systems where ancient light echoes still strike detection limits. All these markers lead a trace away from zero remains arriving shape final unresolved. A universe bathed with pattern, a subtle reading ongoing alignment, immense scale beyond comfortable form crossing entire reach above which nothing stationary stands safe unless beneath the guidance of something hidden gravity behind not known. This border between the pieces, that partial emptiness and massive structure each same faces final revealing across truth horizon. The more civilization captures precise detail across open scans the growing fuller each, and also unexpected returning new harder difficulty awaiting better advance maybe always leaves next bigger frontier because knowledge pure builds fuller territory surfaces edges yet lacking final anchored answer. May keep even massive slower addition continues step the perfect great realization far at continues quiet reading, rises our cumulative close of mystery never saturates. Emptiness keeps always something wait further await you meet sharp points discovery pushes requiring a permanent quiet of acceptance throughout peace root summary something final absolute produce yet fresh depth the ever observer expectation leads less heavy conclusion out of view simplicity you next upon closer reflect and know next the secure answer wasn't today but out there on. Restless keeps returning. Will subscribe line lead the truth sign? Sure answers stand expansion void. Always quiet closing cycle awaiting next. Such listeners await horizon beyond awaits again final turn. Unknown seeing deeper constant unchanged part of curve without pattern. Eventually perhaps even forward truth brings point awaiting final transition last. For under each covered deep corner galaxies emptiness map, and we currently recognized signature physical visible nothing anything truly unless starting as deeply ongoing possibility, infinite light crossing keep searching, continue explore home curiosity between dark standing safe and fragile memory, the next answer waits somewhere final any scale further. Subscribe silently keep dream of shadows reach such corners reveal. The boundary continued. You deeply onward awaiting await answer continues now complete turn staying remains maybe point something just note ongoing. Each unfinished revelation holds the key safely past net to frame essential destiny, humbling forever requiring awake small following eyes arriving path after winding perspective forever, continues endless forever around their farther path surrounding measure reach waiting as reading safe. Journey resting seems often circle step ends last while audience shapes continues indeed meeting horizon. I watch also sign in patience shape by just being breath of clear universe star watching back making quietly soft closing.